when I played, I'd smoke at times, okay? It's a bad habit. Kids, don't smoke, please. So they
Wait,
used to
during
be,
the between periods and stuff?
yeah,
Because I used to. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
probably saw me somewhere.
Go. Dropping the gloves here with John Scott. We're at the Blackhawks Convention doing a little podcast action. Savvy, thanks for stopping by. When you left, were you ready to walk away? Because you played for how many years?
17. I was. You know, of course, as a player, I mean, I was probably a year before that. I could have kind of retired, but ended up playing another year.
Yeah.
Figured maybe, you know, give everything I got. And the biggest thing for me, like when a guy comes to retirement, a player like my type of thing, the way I played, is you don't really lose your skating. What you lose is your hands.
Okay.
And once your hands once you start losing your hands, your feet are going to slow down because of your hands. So that's where I felt like, you know, I wasn't aiming the puck as good, so I'd slow down my feet. Not that I was not skating as good as I was 2 years prior. It's just that my hands got a little sloppy, so I had to slow my feet down. And you know what happens then? And you can start getting caught. And get hit pretty good.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? I've had a pretty good career. I've been, you know, pretty fortunate. I'm healthy. You know, time to go to something else.
Did you jump right into coaching right afterwards?
So
How long did that take?
actually, I went to the minor leagues. I went to, we have Indianapolis Ice at the time.
Yeah.
It was our farm team in Indianapolis. So they kind of gave me a role down there to go. I was there probably 10 days a month, and to go down there and help some of our young players. You know, with Fergie was our coach at the time. So I went out down there and helped Fergie out and try to help our kids out. And as you guys remember, in the year 2001, we weren't very good. You know, we didn't have any prospects coming, and even though down in the minor leagues, the kids that we had, you know, they were okay, but no star players.
Yeah.
So when I went down there, we did okay. Our team did okay during the course of the season. And the following season, you know, they felt like we should bring up some of those kids, you know, because they had a pretty good year down there, and see what we could do with them. And I kind of agreed. You know, I said, yeah, it's a good idea. I think first and foremost, you know, they're going to work. There's no question about that. You know, they're going to want to be playing the NHL, so they're going to work as they work down there. I'm sure getting up here, they're going to do the same thing. So we got those kids up, and we had an okay season, but did not make the playoffs. And you know, that's how it started. But when they brought the kids up to the NHL the following year, then they became like assistant coach. I was like, Craig Hartsburg was our head coach. We had Lauren Henning as an assistant and Newell Brown as the other assistant that came on board.
Yeah, I know Brownie.
To be kind of third assistant. That's how I started.
Oh, very cool. So you mentioned when you go on the road with the boys. How was with the no cell phones, the no cameras? How was the partying like back in the day compared to it is now? Because I know people are very, you know, cautious as they should be going out, especially with, you know,
Yeah.
all the Facebook and stuff. So guys are a little more protective of when and where they go. What was it like back in the day? Were you a Studio 54 guy? Were you in the clubs with Ronnie DeGay? And
No, not really, but I was out.
okay,
No secret. No secret about that. Here's what happens in our days, and I think this convention. You know, I like to be here this weekend. Most of us love to be here. I adore to be here. I really do. The fact is, I get to see some of the fans that when I played that are coming back. There's
Yeah.
still Blackhawk fans that are coming back to see some of us. And you know what we did after games? We end up in a bar, not too far from the arena, and our fans would be there, and we'd have beers with them.
which is great.
And it was a lot of fun. So we had a special bond, you know, in the sense that, you know, we go out together, and, you know, then next city we go to, they'd be there and go out again. So, but talking about fans, I got to tell you guys this story. I don't know. I don't smoke anymore. If anybody thinks I'm an ex-smoker, a long time ago now. But when I played, I'd smoke at times. Okay, it's a bad habit. Kids, don't smoke, please. So they
Wait,
used to
during
be,
the between periods and stuff?
yeah, Yeah.
Because I used to. That's amazing. That's fantastic.
Probably saw me somewhere. But the good story about this one is we're in Minnesota. In those days, behind the benches, there were no glass, right? The fan was be sitting right there like you guys are standing behind us here. And the one guy who had actually seats right behind the bench was not an older guy. He was probably about late 20s, early 30s. Every time I'd come back to the bench, this guy would scream, "Have another cigarette, Savard." You know, and I knew not to talk to him, because if I do, he's got my attention. He'll keep doing it. Well, come back the next shift. "Have another cigarette, Savard." You know, Savard,
so
give you the bad words, whatever. So I said, this guy is a pain in the ass. You know, sometimes I go, "Hey, buddy," I said, "please." I said, "Enjoy the game. Leave me alone, please. You know, it's stupid. You know, don't be stupid. Leave me alone." So now there used to be a place across the Met Center called, I remember the hotel, right across the street anyway, right by the Marriott, next door, it got back to me. So we had a 5 a.m. bus the next morning, okay, because we didn't charter, right?
Yeah.
So we had a 6:15 flight back to Chicago. So, we didn't want to go too far from the hotel, because we'll go out for a couple of beers and come back to the hotel, get a couple hours sleep. Because when we came home after a game, especially if we lost, we practiced the next morning coming in. So we go to rake and practice at 10:30.
Which is, players are so soft now, because there's rules against that, and there's times where they literally have 12 hours where you can't do anything, and you're on your private
I wish
jet.
they had those rules. I might have played longer.
I know, it's amazing. You talk about, we would leave right after the game and whatever. Oh, go ahead.
So we get to the bar, the hotel bar. It's an hotel next door to Marriott. And wouldn't you know that this guy is at the end of the bar having a beer?
Fantastic.
Perfect. So, I kind of wingle my way through, and I kind of, tough to get to the bar because it's too deep, but excuse me, and I get like this, and the guy's standing right there, and I'm standing just like this. I'm kind of leaning on him, and the guy, he drank the whole game.
Yeah.
He's still drinking. So
Half blind, yeah.
Yeah, half blind, pretty good. So I'm, kind of, and I turn around, and he looks at me, he goes, he went like this, right? He goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Yeah, how you doing, buddy?" Doing good, I said. He said, "Hey, let me buy your beer." Okay, I said, "Sounds good." Buys me a beer. And I got about 3 of my 4 teammates behind me. And I tell the guy, "Yeah, a couple Budweiser, thank you. So I said, "Yeah, keep it on the check, no problem." So he's so hammered that we were there for about 3 hours. And we kind of talked, we made up, it was great, and he became like my friend. But the problem is that he didn't know until I saw him the next time. He had a bill for about $400. So I told him, he says, the next time we play him, he says, "Yeah, you got me really, really good."
Oh, that's so good. I thought you were going to ask him for a cigarette at the bar or something.
But, after that, after the game, says, "Where we're going?" I says, "We'll meet you. I'll meet you over there." I'd go out with the guy afterwards. So that's the kind of, even he was a Minnesota fan. I made him become a Blackhawk fan, believe it or not.
That's nice.
That's
you can't
tough
do
to
that nowadays. It's impossible.
No, you can't.
It stinks.
And I get it. It's okay. Yeah, it is. It does. It does for the players. It does for the fans. But, the way social media is, the way the world works today.
It's brutal.
It's tough, yeah.
I know, because even could you walk down the street in a road city and be recognized? Because you were the best player for years. And is it the same treatment that Crosby would get walking down the street in a Canadian city, or?
No, I don't think so. We were recognized somewhat, but not like today.
Yeah.
There's no question it's way, way more today. The odd time we would get recognized, depending what city you go into. But now hockey, let's face it, it's been popular for a long time, but I think it's at the best it's ever been.
Yeah, it's fun to watch the game.
Yeah.
So what are your days like now? What do you do now that you're retired?
I hang around with
years?
John Scott for an hour.
Well, this is the best day of your life.
That's
I know,
great,
Savvy. It's the best. But come on, you're an ambassador for the Hawks.
So we do a lot of sponsor meet and greet on game nights. I'm almost at every game. Summer times, sometimes we'll go with a sponsor, play golf.
Okay.
I don't really work too hard.
And is that an event where you just go and get like, because I've seen you guys in action as the ambassadors, and do you just get buckled every game and schmooze with the,
Yeah, it's
have a couple beers and have fun and.
no, I don't drink when I go to the games. but
Okay, that's a good idea.
No, I don't.
Yeah.
It's kind of working, but
Yeah.
I hang around with Bobby All. What else you want to do?
Well, that's what I saw Bobby. Yeah.
Whatever Bobby says, you go, yes, sir. And Bobby's a fan. He loves to watch his team, our team, and he goes, and every time there's a play, that the guy makes a mistake, he'll just go, whoa, what was that? What it is. So, but Bobby's is I tell you what, he's still loved very, very much. I don't care if I played or Chris played or down the road, obviously, Kaner and Taser and those guys become, icons in this town for sure. But Bobby All is the icon in this town
Yeah.
for hockey. People love him, and he's so good to people. I honestly, all the times I've been there in the suite with him, I don't think I've ever seen him say no once to anybody. Even the suite next door to us, sometimes people are, they'll come in and ask for Bobby for autographs, and then Bobby said, Denny, you too, huh? I said, okay, Bobby, whatever you say.
So the question I always ask the skill guys is, have you ever been in a fight? NHL fight?
All right, I've been to a few of them,
Okay.
and I did pretty good.
Oh, wow.
I'm a lefty, just so you know. So,
Which is, the only time I got knocked out was by a lefty. I had no idea he was a lefty. So that is,
You got knocked out?
yeah, little lefty. I had no
How about
idea.
the next fight? How did the guy do?
Not good.
You
Yeah.
got- you
So
got-
I knew he was a lefty. Yeah. Once you know that, it's easy. Okay, let's hear about your fights.
So, I'll talk about the ones I won.
The good ones.
Yeah, the good ones. So, one of them was against Mark Howe. A
Yeah.
great player.
Yeah.
He was playing for the Flyers, and he speared me in the gut, and whacked me behind the leg, and I turned around, I go, this is Mark Howe whacking me and spearing me. I go, this can't happen. If it's John Scott, I turn around, I go back to the bench, I go change. But Mark Howe, I said no. And here's what happened. So we got in a fight, and I give him an uppercut, and I still got the scar. It's tough to see. but
Okay.
right over here.
It sucks in there, yeah.
So I had his tooth
No way.
stuck in this area right here. I get in the penalty box. You don't know. I mean, you know better than I do. When you fight adrenaline, you don't
Yep.
even know. And all of a sudden, I go, ooh, what is that? So I take it out, and I didn't know better. But I told the trainer, I said, his tooth was in there. Well, it's not good. We'd have to go get a
Got
shot.
a tetanus shot, yeah. Who knows where he's been?
So, exactly. Thank God he was okay then. 'Cause I'm still around. So that was one of the fights. Obviously knocked his teeth out, and I remember that I got my arm become infected. Even
No
though,
way.
Yeah. And what I was most disappointing after that fight, I had to be in the hospital. I went to the hospital. I was in there for 3 days, and then we were going to Montreal for the Canadiens, which is back home, and I was not able to go to that game. So I was kind of disappointed. That was my one fight. I won't talk about Dino Ciccarelli because
why?
he kicked my ass every
Well, let's
time I
talk about,
fought.
how did that fight start? Did he jump you, or how does that, what did you do to get him to?
Well, Dino was kind of the same size, but I'll tell you what, of all the guys that grabbed onto me when I
Yeah.
fought, maybe 20 times, he's very, very strong.
Okay.
So I knew I had no chance. So, as you know, you have tactics to do this, you know how to do this, and when you get on the defensive, you have a problem, I think.
You're in trouble.
right?
Yeah. I want a guy to not throw a punch. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's what I was trying to do, so
Protect yourself.
protect myself. So that was the problem. Dale Auerchuk in Buffalo, I was playing with the Canadiens
He's
then.
a big guy.
Yeah, Dale was, yeah. So, something happened in the corner with Gilbert Dion, one of my teammates, and a couple of other guys, and Dale's pushing people around. I go, Dale, please, stay out of that. Who are you kidding? He goes, why, you want to go? I go, yeah, let's go. So, here we go. And again, I don't know how strong he is. I grabbed both of his arms. I don't know if he's a lefty or righty, so
Yeah.
I grabbed both of his arms, but I can't let one go, and he hits me right here and buckles me. I mean, I buckled him.
Yeah.
I went out for like a second, came back up, and I went nuts. Then I went on offense. Then I opened them up here. If I got about this wide.
So what's a better feeling, knocking some guy out or scoring a big goal?
No, knocking the guy out.
It's so much better, right? It's so much better.
No question. Especially when you're not good at it. You know better.
It's so good. I still love it. I fought all the time, but there's nothing better. Like, I scored 5 goals.
Yeah, well.
But I tell you what, it is like
Just
something.
remember MVP. Just remember that.
Yeah.
That'll stay with you the rest of your life. What a great story, right? You guys remember watching that?
I'm still
And
milking
his
it.
wife and his kids there hey.
It was fun.
Great story for hockey. It was really a great story. Go
I
ahead.
know. It was pretty fun, but yeah. Anyways.
It's my time. It's not your time now.
What? No, go for it. It is your time. Jeez, Savvy, you can have as much time as you want. All right, Savvy, I'll let you get out of here. I'll do some rapid fire questions for you. Anybody have any rapid fire questions for Savvy?
You got one right behind you.
What's it? What is
Do
it?
you think you would be, like you in your prime, do you think you'd be able to compete in today's game?
Oh.
I think so. I'll tell you why. I think because I was able to be a good skater, that would help me, and the rules that we have today. See, I know that the game is still tough today, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's a different era, different times. But when I played, I didn't sleep very good some nights before we played, because I knew some guys would come after me. I wasn't worried about getting a punch, but I was worried about getting stick. We got slashed so many times, so hard, cross-checked. Today, they eliminate that from our game, which is great, because now most of our fans will come see our best players, not only here, but in every city that they go, and vice versa for other teams. So I'd say yes, I think so.
I think you would do better these days, because I think back in the old days, I obviously didn't play. The first line was the first line. They were great hockey players. And then there was a big fall off after that. Nowadays, it's the first line, the second line, the third line. They're all very skilled. And I feel like you would succeed more. That's in my opinion, because the clutching, the grabbing, your skill set is so much better suited for this game, this era's game. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, thank you.
You know what I mean?
That's a good question.
It is.
But I know that, and Johnny's right. Nowadays the first line is pretty good. After that, it's starting to, even the defense, the 1-2 defense were pretty good, and number 3, 4, 5, 6 not very good. Today, they're all good. I mean, even your 5th and 6th guys, they're great players.
Well, what was even the training before the season? Like, what did you do?
Bud Light, smoke,
right? Dust the bag off in
ride
August.
the bike.
See,
But I did, I'll tell you what, I did train. You know what I did? And some for your kids, some of the fathers, here's what my training was. I played 2 hours of tennis 4 or 5 days a week against a friend of mine who was like an A+ player. And at the time I was okay. I'd still play once in a while, but not a lot, not enough. But so he was way better than I was. And the idea of that is making me run the ball, get to the side, run side to side, forward, backward. So it really helped my feet. We didn't have that many rallies, but I'll tell you what, after 2 hours, I was exhausted. I was really tired. So that's what I did as a workout. I mean, I didn't like to lift weights. That was not one of my things. And, I did tennis, and I ran or ride the bike and stuff like that. And,
you didn't skate all the time in the summer. It wasn't like a 24/7, 365-day hockey.
No, we started 3 weeks before camp.
Yeah.
We used to come here in Chicago. I remember name of the rink down on the south side. Frank owned the rink at the time. I remember Frank. We skated a couple weeks before, but not skating. We scrimmage. You know how that works.
Yeah.
Nobody. And then at the end, we do boards to boards. We do a lot of skating at the end just to try to get ourselves into game shape. But as you know, you got to play. You can practice as much as you want, but the games is where
completely different.
Completely different.
You could bag skate all day long. It's nothing like a game.
Right.
At all. All right, Savvy, a couple more. Favorite hockey moment?
Well, the one should be winning the Stanley Cup as a player. But my favorite moment is coming back here in '95.
I thought you were going to say you're going to talk to me right now.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, yeah.
Well, you were coming on the list. You're number 4. But coming back to the Hawks, it was a special time for me. I'll tell you why. Of course, winning the Cup in Montreal, grew up there as a kid, and home. My mom and dad were already in heaven, but my brothers were there, my family was there, was a pretty good thing. But all those years that I was gone, when I came back in '95 and I dressed up for practice, you know, I felt okay, I'm practicing. But the next day we played Detroit. I felt really good then when I put the jersey back on. That was a moment that I'll never forget. I remember that moment I put that jersey on. I didn't say nothing to anybody, but in my mind I go, oh, does that feel good?
That's nice. That's
So,
cool.
That's a true story.
Well, let's end it on that note. Savvy, appreciate it, bud. Thanks for stopping in.
Johnny, thank you. Hey,
Pleasure,
how about John
pleasure.
Scott? Thank you.
Denis Savard, everybody.
Hey, he's good at it. He's good at
Oh,
his career.
stop.
I like it.